Yo, what is up, guys? It's Adam the Bee's Knees back again for NPL season 9 of Majors. And we are back. It's been what, half a year, maybe more, since the last NPL stuff. So yeah, a lot of things have changed. There's a lot of new coaches. Off the top of my head, we have coaches like returning like Verges, David, and Abe's come back. I know we have new coaches like Vepsis, Spextar, Stibe, Shuckle King, and I think that's it. And additionally, we have some minors coaches being promoted like Turk, Fog, Carney, Illusion, I. There's also, I don't remember. Trev's no longer in as a coach this season, but he is the new commissioner. So that's cool. He's doing, a good job there. Yeah, so this is the draft I have for the Houston Soul Rockets. Only other big thing before we go into it is that Aegislash is banned, thank God. Mawile and whatever, they're allowed. But I figured that was going to happen. And on top of that, I was 16th pick in the league. So that was kind of fun. I mean, I didn't really care that much because what I wanted, I figured wouldn't be picked right off the bat. So, and it wasn't. So I'm going to start off with round 1 Mega King. I know that some people love it. Some people say, oh, that you can get that like round 3 or whatever. But like my logic was that I wanted to use it. So if I waited till the end of round 3, it probably would have been taken. So I decided, fuck it, let's get it. It's a good Pokemon. It has around 170 attack, factoring in parental bond and all that. It's a good wall breaker. It's a good wish passer. It's all that fun stuff. Of course, it's weak to knockoff. That's the big, or not knockoff. It would like a knockoff because it's so weak to Rocky Helmet. So I'll keep that in mind, drafting around it. But it's a very good Pokemon. It's faster than it seems like, and quite bulky and all that jazz. Gives me at least a little bit of priority at the moment, and one of my wall breaking Pokemon. So up next we have Tapu Fini. I picked this up immediately following Kang, because Tapu Fini I feel is a good pairing. It can knock off and set up a terrain so Kang can't get poisoned or burned, which it really doesn't want to be poisoned or burned. And this thing is not too bad. It beats like the bulk ground types, and Nature's Madness is pretty good at beating down its checks. I think Tapu Fini's okay. I didn't like it initially, but like when the gen started, but it's kind of grown. I guess I do have Wish if I want it to heal this thing back up, because it doesn't get recover or anything like that. But it's fat. It gets good use of leftovers, and it's a good defogger, as well as being my fairy and water type, which is a very good type to have, a very good type combination. And it's not super weak either. Hits Moonblast pretty strong, hits Surf pretty strong. I'm not an idiot. I'm not gonna run Scald. Some people run Scald, and it's just bad. You can't burn anything. But yeah, of course, I cannot status my opponent either with like stuff like Toxic Spikes or whatever when terrain's up. But it is how it is. So I paired. So this is coming back to me end of round 3. So end of round 3, beginning of round 4. I did want Ferrothorn. I was gonna get it after Infernape here. It was sniped like 3 picks before me, so that was a little sad. But I decided to pick up Infernape, and yes, it is a Z captain of mine. Infernape's really good. It beats down the bulky grass and bulky steel and rock types that Kang does that like to run around Helmet. It's very strong. It's a good speed tier. It gives me more priority. It's a decent Z move user as well, and it's able, set up Swords Dance, Nasty Plot, have priority for both physical, special, and it gets a broad of moves. Iron Fist is pretty good as an ability, powering up, close combat, Mach Punch, Elemental Punches, and whatnot. Very strong mon. Probably, I would say the best non-mega starter off the top of my head. Ninja's pretty good too. But yeah, Infernape's a good little lad there. So, on coming off of Infernape, I pick up Nidoqueen. So my logic is, obviously, it's not going to come back to me at the end of round 4. So I'm going to pick it up now. And Nidoqueen's really good. It's really fat. It's a nice pairing, I think, with Tapu Fini. I'll just need to pick up some off-the-ground Pokemon, which I will later. It can break down fatter mons because of the Life Orb Sheer Force stuff, but it's a excellent rocker. Infernape does get Stealth Rock, but obviously I would really not want to run Stealth Rock on Infernape. So Nidoqueen usually will always have rocks. And even then, so it also gets T-Spikes, which again, I do have a Tapu Fini, but it does have T-Spikes, which is, nice to have. It's a really good mon. Gives me, I guess, another priority user and Sucker Punch, though. Who runs Sucker Punch? Nidoqueen. But it's not that bad of a mon. It's really good. I think it's better than Nidoking. They're kind of different. Nidoking's more offensive. This is more defensive, and I wanted a bit more of a defensive Pokemon on my team. So yeah, so the draft goes back and forth, and everyone's picking up grass types and stuff. Also, fun fact, I wanted Skarmory. I was going to take Skarmory here too, but that was taken basically right after Ferrothorn, so I was like, oh dang, oh well, I'll get my steel type later, screw that then. So I decided to pick up the best grass type left. This was a risk because literally one of the only steel types I was looking into was Bronzong, because Bronzong is ground. So I could have picked up Shaman Bronzong. I did not. I decided to sit on my hands and wait for it. So we'll see if I end up getting it. But Shaman was arguably the best grass type left. Tangrowth was gone and all that stuff. Shaman's really good. It is a good ground resist, a good Zygarde check. So if I do run into a Zygarde, I do have Shaman. Seed Flare is nice. It gets a ton of moves. Healing Wish as well. And it gets Leech Seed. Pass, so I can Leech Seed, switch out and something else could get healed by it. Yeah, it's a good Pokemon. I've wanted to use it. In fact, I'm pretty sure, looking at my team, I really haven't used any of these Pokemon before, except for like one notably, and I've used another one. So I've only really used, I think, like 2 total, which is not bad. So up next, I pick Sneasel. Ideally, Weavile I would have gotten, but obviously it wasn't going to make it round 6. So Sneasel gives me yet another priority user, which will not be my last one, by the way. It gives me a good 115 speed tier, so now I have a good, fast team, really. My team actually is going to end up being really fast, so, that's always fun. It gives me a Pursuit Trapper, not another knockoff user, and a good Ice type, which, Ice types, they're kind of rarer on teams. There's not that many good ones. Always good to have. So yeah, Sneasel, it does almost everything Weavile can do. And even then, so I think Sneasel's just basically good enough. It's 10 points slower. I don't need Weavile's speed. Sneasel's speed actually fits better, if just a little bit weaker in attack, but that's about it. Also, they all always have useless S abilities, but So I do end up getting Bronzong, luckily. I believe David took Metagross, so that was close. But I do get Bronzong. It is the off-the-ground steel, or I guess non-ground weak steel I was looking for. It is, the only downside to this is it's weak to knockoff, which, kind of lame. But I do have a Tapu Fini, I do have a Kang, I do have an Infernape and Nidoqueen that all really don't care about knockoffs. Sneasel, Shaman, I mean, they don't really care about knockoffs, so it's like no big deal. But Bronzong, you know, it's really fat. It's a good Stealth Rock user. It's my third Stealth Rock user. And yeah, it gives me Trick Room and all that fun stuff, like Trick Room and I was going to say something else, I forgot. But, you know, good Pokemon, good Steel type, decent Psychic type. Yeah, also a good Lele check, because, you know, that's around, so that's fun. Up next, I take Lycanroc with my Bronzong, and this gives me yet another priority user. I think Accelerock is the best priority move in the game because there's so many fast flying and fire types that are offensively very threatening, and if you could just switch this in and, you know, threaten them out by clicking Accelerock like Darmanitan or Aerodactyl or something, that's all, or like Moltres would just instantly die. That's always nice. It gives me 110, which is a nice balance between Infernape and Sneasel. Gives me my final Stealth Rocker, so I have 4 Stealth Rockers, so I really, nothing will be pressured to run Stealth Rock, essentially. And Lycanroc hits things harder. It has a harder Earthquake with Drill Run. Fire Fang and all that gets boosted pretty well with Tough Claws. It is my Z user, my second Z user, and my final. So Infernape and Lycanroc are Z. Obviously, I can use Lycanium Z, which is Stone Edge, clears terrain, which I guess is cool if I don't want Misty Terrain or if my opponent has a Tapu. But yeah, and it's really strong. It's a good rock type, and it's just the perfect speed tier for me. I know I sniped a couple people, but, you know, it is what it is. So basically, this was my draft, and like I needed a couple things. So I really wanted Vikavolt, just because, well, Vikavolt may have been a Z user, and Vikavolt I just wanted to use, and I didn't have a bug type, and I didn't have a electric type, and, you know, it was going good. It was going all the way back to me. Vikavolt wasn't there, and of course, number pick 15, because I'm 16, Bepsis was like, yo, I want to take Vikavolt. So that kind of was sad and disheartening, so I don't end up getting an electric type, not really. But, you know, it is what it is. I do take a Noivern. I was going to take that and Vikavolt, you know, in tandem. Noivern's fine. It's basically, there are no dragons left. I wanted another off-the-ground Pokemon, and I wanted something faster than Sneasel, and this really fit all of those marks. It gets strong moves like Hurricane, Draco Meteor, and stuff like that. It's another good pivot Pokemon, which I'm kind of lacking because I only have had Infernape. So yeah, I do end up getting Noivern, and I'm happy about it. Yeah, Frisk is kind of cool. So hopefully my team will just outspeed everyone else's, and I can beat them down with Kang. So my next Pokemon, I needed a couple things. I was like, screw it, I don't need types anymore. I have basically everything I need, more or less. So I wanted another Wall Breaker. I wanted Spikes. I wanted Momentum. And mainly I wanted a good knockoff user, just because Tapu Fini, odds are, could run knockoff, and Sneasel, you know, is a good knockoff user, but Sneasel wouldn't be brought to every game. So I wanted, maybe most games, but I wanted a really good bait for Rocky Helmet users, knock them off, and I'll be good to go. So I end up taking Big Chungus here. Chungus, Diggersby. And I think, you know, you've heard of Megalopony Diggersby. It's essentially the same thing. It destroys the steel types that Kang really doesn't like to deal with, stuff like that. Diggersby is, of course, obnoxiously strong. It has around 140 attack on the low end, and gives me literally everything I want. In addition, another good priority user. So I have like 6, and say 7 if you count Shaman with stupid ass quick attack. But yeah, Diggersby is really good. I used it in minors, and that was, I believe, the season I got promoted. So I do like Diggersby. I think it's a fantastic Pokemon. It also relieves Scarf pressure on Infernape, because looking at the team, really scarfing, nothing really wanted to be scarfed besides Infernape. Like, nothing had the momentum, and now I have the momentum. And Diggersby is a good staple mon on teams, so normal spam is also really good. And I can easily beat down steel types between Diggersby, Nidoqueen, and Infernape. Plus, I have Nature's Madness on Tapu Fini. And, I have stronger Earthquake on Lycanroc. So I can beat down those and then go in with normal moves. I guess there's always ghost types, but I can Pursuit Trap them because, Seize outspeeds basically every ghost type, which is another reason why I wanted it. So yeah, this is my main team. Now I have 5 points left. I was debating a lot of things. I was debating Electabuzz, I was debating Pinsir, and I could go like Pinsir Chirisu, which I was kind of thinking, but I was like, I'm not really going to bring them. And I was looking at this one Pokemon, and I was like, I could see myself bringing this thing. So I decided to go with my man, Oricorio. The main reason is the speed. I didn't have anything in the 90s. I had high 80s, and I had over 100. So Oricorio was kind of nice there. Additionally, I can use any of the forms. So Ghost, I can have a Ghost type, finally. I can have an Electric type that I didn't have. I can have an offensive Psychic type. And I can have a Fire type, a special Fire type. So it really does it's a nice customized option. Revelation Dance is what? A 90 base power move? So that's nice. It gives me another momentum user. So yeah, I decided to get it, and I can, if you have a Quiver Dancing Venomoth or whatever, I can hard switch this in and, quiver up with ya. So yeah, this is my squad. So I'm pretty happy with it. I got sniped on Airthorn and Storm, which was a little annoying, and Vikavolt. Those were my big snipes. I was 16th, I think, whatever. It was, it was fine. I wasn't really going to complain about what spot I was going to get, because besides like Infernape, Nidoqueen, and like my first 4 or 5 Pokemon, I knew I'd probably get everything else I was looking for, except for Vikavolt. So, whatever. And yeah, so hopefully we do well. Gypsy's not in this season. Forgot to mention that. So if you don't count Aster, we'll have a new winner, which would be exciting. Or Aster can, legitimately win. Unlike that stupid last season, which was kind of dumb. But yeah, until then, I'll see you week 1. No idea when that is. So yeah, you'll see the draft stream before this. So that'll be cool. So you'll probably know my picks. But yeah. Chunga 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 chunga.